Hi, welcome back to the channel. Sunday, just got back from the Cotswolds. Had a few days in Stow-on-the-Wold. Got a bit of training in. So yeah, it was nice. Went down on Tuesday, so had a busy week. Had a week off work, but it's been pretty hectic with dropped the TT bike off to have some work done, converting the tyres from clincher to tubeless. So yeah, dropped that off at Bridgetown Cycles over in Cannock Chase on Tuesday morning, and I picked it up at the end of the week on Friday when I came back from the Cotswolds. So just had the Victoria Pro tyres put on that, so they've just been launched. I think they were launched in and around the Giro. So yeah, fresh tyres. I think Aerocoach done some tests on it and they seem pretty good. It was between them and the Continental 5000. I was going to go the TT tyres, but bit of a recommendation from a guy I know, Alex, sort of suggested that the TT tyre can be a little bit vulnerable, especially on the British roads. So opted for the Victoria. I've ridden Victoria before, had some tubular tyres on the Trek Speed Concept, so opted for those. Tan walls as well. Wasn't sure how they were going to look on the Factor, but it looks pretty nice. Always like a bit of a tan wall, a bit old school. Reminds me of my old sort of mountain bike days back in the 90s. But yeah, so hopefully I'm going to get those out on the road this week and just get a bit of a test ride before next weekend's race, where I'm racing at Cholmeley Castle next week. So that's a world's qualifier for next year, for the standard duathlon. So looking to hopefully tick that off, get that done. It's in the Gold Coast next year, so next August. I didn't do any of the standard distance world champs this year due to trying to concentrate on the middle distance, but with the postponements, obviously not raced those. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting out there next year. So Tuesday, after I dropped the bike off, we went down to the Cotswolds. Love it down there. Fortunate that my parent-in-laws have got a holiday cottage, so whenever it's available we'll try and pop down when we can. So that's sort of Stow-on-the-Wold. So went there Tuesday to Friday. Managed to get a couple of sessions in. I did my one bike session on the turbo on Tuesday morning because I wanted to try and do as much as I session-wise, try and get the turbo sessions in, because I always find it's better for me to do those sorts of sessions on the turbo rather than on the road. So I did both my sessions at home on Tuesday. We drove over, and then on the Wednesday I did a run session in the morning. So I think that was 3 times 5 minutes, and then followed by 10 times 1 minute. So they were all 1 minute recoveries. And went down to the local cricket ground to do that, just across from Stow-on-the-Wold. So it's on a bit of a hill as well. So although it was a cricket ground, it was so the efforts were pretty hard, because I was sort of half the effort was coming downhill, half the effort coming uphill. It was probably just about a couple of laps for the 5 minutes. So it was a tough session, to be honest, because of the terrain I was running on. But yeah, enjoyed that. And then on the Wednesday evening, just went out, did a steady hour on the bike, which was really nice. Just hit on the lanes. I think actually I was going quite well, considering it was a steady. I think average 17, 18, just about 18 mile an hour. I think just over an hour, and steady riding. So really enjoyed that. So I went out towards Moreton in the Marsh from Stow, so cutting down some of the back lanes. So really enjoyed that. And then on the next day, I think it was the Thursday morning, we went out and I did a sort of bike session on the Thursday morning. So I did some again 5 minute efforts. I think it was about 6 5-minute efforts in the end. So again, I probably would have done that on the turbo ordinarily, but I took the sort of the Dolan road bike, my summer bike. It's been on the turbo, so it needs a little bit of TLC. Actually, I did drop it off when I picked the Factor up from Bridgetown. I've dropped that off and had a new bottom bracket put on the Trek this week, and a new gear cable for the front because it was just corroded. And so I do need to get a new set of wheels for it. Deciding not whether to just upgrade it, but the price of bikes at the moment is so high. It's not a bad bike. Get a couple of decent wheels on it, and I think it'll be alright for another couple of years, rather than me spending 3 or 4 grand on a new bike. So I think I'm just going to give it a bit of good wash, good clean, had the bottom bracket done, needs a few other little bits and bobs, and see if I can get a few more years out of it, as I don't use it too much, but it's mainly my turbo bike anyway. So took the Dolan, which is fine actually. Had a good session on that in the morning, and then in the evening, on the Thursday evening, just then went out for a steady ride, or a steady run on the trails, which is fantastic. But yeah, it's just beautiful. Ran sort of down Monarch's Way, which actually runs past our house over in Stourbridge, so it's quite unusual that when we go over to Stow, we've got the same trail and path called Monarch's Way, which actually runs through Stow-on-the-Wold and the Cotswolds. So put a few miles in around there, got hopefully some nice footage, and then in and around that, I think if anyone hasn't been, but I love Stow-on-the-Wold, but we went down to Dalesford Farm, one of our sort of local places that we like to go when we stay there. So went with Louise, and we had some on the Thursday morning, had some breakfast there, and some nice porridge with some croissant, and then went for a bit of a walk round Dalesford Farm. So Dalesford's owned by Lady Bamford, who's part of the JCB family, so they own a huge organic farm out there, and it's got everything from sort of like a little restaurant and things like that, but they've got a farm shop there. They've also got like a spa, and yeah, it's a really nice place to go. So if ever you're over in the Cotswolds, I'd recommend going there. So haven't been for breakfast before, so we went for breakfast, and then we went for a bit of a walk around the farm itself, so some of the land and the fields around there, and some of the trails. So really enjoyed that. Haven't done that before either, so it was quite nice just to get a bit of a walk in and around their farmland. I can't remember whether it's might be wrong here, about 400 acres, or is it 40 acres, but big area. I think it's 400 acres. Huge sort of farm, but really well looked after. The trails are well looked after there. I think maybe next time I go over, I might drive down to Dalesford and do a bit of a run on some of the trails and things out there. But yeah, all in all, really enjoyed it. Great week off work, and looking forward now to one more week's training and get ready for Cholmeley Castle, which is next weekend over in Shropshire, because it's the World Trials. So first head out for Duathlon for a couple of months. Obviously coming off the back of a TT last weekend where I broke my 25-mile PB, so I went from 53.49 down to 53.13 last week. So really getting used to that new position. It seems to be working really well. Seems to be obviously 11 watt power PB as well over that distance, so it seems like fitness is going in the right direction. As well, over the last couple of years, I've knocked quite a bit of time off my 25. I'm 43 this year, so I was wondering whether I'd still be able to make some improvements on the time trial, but yeah, down to 53.13. Hoping the new tyres are going to give me another 13 seconds, and I can dip under the 53 this season, which would be fantastic. And then hopefully look into next year then to make some more gains. But yeah, I'm going to see what I can get. I've got a couple more 25s coming up and a couple of 10s as well, so trying to get that closer to 20 minutes, but also try and dip under 53 as well this year. So yeah, so we'll see how all that goes, and yeah, and hopefully I'll give a bit of a race review from next weekend's Cholmeley Castle next weekend. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you haven't, like the video, subscribe. If you want to hear anything more or want to know a bit more about my bike, my training, whatever, please leave a comment, and I'll try and put a few more videos up. And yeah, thanks all, see you soon.